In a world where the divide between humans and wildlife often feels insurmountable, some individuals have dared to bridge that gap. Their lives tell stories of trust, resilience, and the rare ability to connect with creatures many see as untamable. These relationships defy the norm, showing that humans and wild animals can coexist in ways that inspire and educate. From a man who raised a grizzly bear to a primatologist who changed the way we view chimpanzees, each of these connections reveals a deeper truth about nature. They are built on mutual respect, patience, and understanding, qualities that transcend species. These bonds not only highlight the beauty of such relationships, but also serve as a reminder of our shared responsibility to protect the wild. In this journey, we'll explore 5 extraordinary stories of people who have forged unique relationships with wild animals, starting with Casey Anderson and his remarkable companion, Brutus the Grizzly. In 2002, wildlife naturalist Casey Anderson stumbled upon an orphaned grizzly bear cub destined for captivity. Weighing just a few pounds, Brutus had lost his mother to human encroachment. Unable to release him into the wild, Casey decided to give the cub a home, laying the foundation for one of the most unique bonds between man and bear. As Brutus grew into a powerful 800-pound adult, their relationship transcended simple companionship. Casey didn't just raise Brutus, he gave him a purpose. At the Montana Grizzly Encounter, a sanctuary Casey founded, Brutus became the face of grizzly conservation. Visitors were captivated not just by the bear's imposing presence, but by his calm demeanor and the unspoken connection he shared with Casey. The bond between them was extraordinary, yet rooted in reality. Casey never forgot that Brutus was still a wild animal, deserving of space and respect. They played, worked, and even shared moments of quiet reflection, but always on Brutus's terms. Casey often described their relationship as one built on trust rather than dominance, a stark contrast to traditional human-animal interactions. Through Brutus, Casey sought to challenge misconceptions about grizzlies, showing that they are not ruthless predators but complex creatures with emotions and intelligence. Their story became a symbol of coexistence, inspiring countless others to see wildlife not as something to fear, but as something to cherish. Next, we'll journey to the forests of Gombe to meet Jane Goodall, whose patient, gentle approach unlocked the mysteries of the chimpanzee world. In 1960, a young Jane Goodall stepped into the forests of Gombe Stream National Park in Tanzania, embarking on a journey that would redefine humanity's understanding of its closest relatives. With no formal scientific training, Jane approached her mission with a trait far more potent: patience. She spent months observing the wild chimpanzees from a distance, earning their trust one cautious step at a time. Her breakthrough came when she witnessed a male chimp, whom she named David Graybeard, using a stick to extract termites from a mound. This single moment shattered the scientific belief that tool use was exclusive to humans. Gradually, more chimps allowed her into their world, revealing a complex society with behaviors that mirrored our own: love, grief, conflict, and cooperation. Jane didn't just study chimpanzees, she lived alongside them. Days turned into decades, with Jane becoming a part of their forest, documenting their lives with unparalleled empathy. She named each individual, recognizing their unique personalities and emotions, and in doing so, bridged the divide between species. Her findings revolutionized primatology and sparked a global conversation about conservation. But her bond with the chimps went beyond science. It was a relationship of mutual respect. Jane offered them peace and understanding, and in return, they allowed her to glimpse the untamed beauty of their world. From the forests of Gombe, we now move to the African savanna, where Kevin Richardson's extraordinary trust has earned him the title of the Lion Whisperer. Deep in the heart of South Africa, Kevin Richardson has built a sanctuary where lions roam freely and remarkably trust him. Known as the Lion Whisperer, Kevin's bond with these apex predators defies logic and instinct. Unlike traditional methods of dominance, his approach is rooted in empathy, mutual respect, and an uncanny ability to understand their behavior. Kevin's journey began when he worked at a wildlife park and formed a connection with 2 lion cubs, Tao and Napoleon. From these beginnings, he developed an entirely unconventional way of interacting with lions, spending time in their enclosures and even joining their pride on hunts. Over time, his unique trust-based method allowed him to form bonds with dozens of lions, leopards, and hyenas. At his sanctuary, Kevin provides a haven for predators rescued from exploitation. Here, he works to dispel myths about their nature, showing that lions are not mindless killers but intelligent, social animals with distinct personalities. His interactions, playing, cuddling, and even napping beside them, demonstrate a level of trust rarely seen between humans and wild animals. Despite their bond, Kevin remains acutely aware of the risks. One misstep could cost him his life, and he constantly reminds the public that lions are still wild animals, not pets. Yet his efforts serve a greater purpose, raising awareness about habitat destruction and the perils of the lion trade. Through Kevin's work, the world sees lions not as threats, but as beings deserving respect and protection. From the golden savanna, our story moves to the marshlands of Iraq, where humans and water buffalo share a life shaped by tradition. In the vast marshlands of southern Iraq, the Marsh Arabs have lived alongside water buffalo for centuries. These towering animals, with their curved horns and calm eyes, are more than just livestock. They are woven into the very fabric of Marsh Arab life. In a region where reeds and waterways dominate the landscape, water buffalo are vital companions, providing milk, transportation, and even a sense of cultural identity. This ancient symbiosis is rooted in necessity and respect. The Marsh Arabs guide their buffalo through the shimmering wetlands, where the animals graze on aquatic plants and cool themselves in the water. In return, the buffalo sustain their human caretakers with rich milk, which is transformed into cheese and yogurt. The animals are often treated with care and reverence, viewed as essential members of the community. The relationship between the Marsh Arabs and their buffalo has endured despite hardships. Decades of conflict and ecological damage threatened their way of life, draining the marshes and displacing both people and animals. Yet their bond proved resilient. Restoration efforts have brought life back to the marshlands, allowing this unique partnership to thrive once again. Here, the line between human and animal blurs, showing a harmony born of interdependence and mutual survival. From the tranquil marshes of Iraq, we now turn to the savannas of South Africa, where Lawrence Anthony's profound connection with elephants became the stuff of legend. In the untamed wilderness of South Africa, Lawrence Anthony, known as the Elephant Whisperer, built a sanctuary where his connection with elephants transcended words. When a troubled herd of elephants, notorious for escaping and causing destruction, was brought to his Thula Thula reserve, Lawrence was faced with a daunting challenge. If he couldn't rehabilitate them, they would be killed. Rather than using force, Lawrence relied on patience and intuition. He spent days and nights near the herd, speaking softly to them, observing their behavior, and respecting their boundaries. Slowly, the elephants began to trust him. The matriarch, Nana, led the herd in accepting Lawrence as part of their world. Over time, what started as cautious coexistence became a bond of deep understanding. This connection wasn't without its risks. Elephants are intelligent, emotional, and unpredictable animals, but Lawrence's calm demeanor and unwavering respect won them over. He advocated for their protection, raising awareness about the dangers of habitat loss and poaching, and Thula Thula became a symbol of hope for conservation. Even after Lawrence's death in 2012, his bond with the elephants endured. In a hauntingly beautiful display of loyalty, the herd reportedly traveled miles to his home and stood vigil for days, a solemn farewell to the man who had saved them. From the plains of South Africa to the bonds of companionship in Montana, Gombe, and beyond, these stories show the extraordinary possibilities of human-animal relationships. Together, they remind us of the power of trust, empathy, and coexistence. The stories of Casey Anderson, Jane Goodall, Kevin Richardson, the Marsh Arabs, and Lawrence Anthony illuminate a profound truth. The bonds between humans and wild animals can transcend fear and conflict. Each relationship showcases the courage and compassion required to bridge the divide between species, proving that coexistence is not only possible, but vital for the survival of both humans and wildlife. These connections aren't just personal triumphs. They're powerful examples of what humanity can achieve when we embrace empathy and respect for nature. Whether it's rescuing a grizzly bear, living among chimpanzees, or earning the trust of an elephant herd, these stories inspire us to look at the wild not as something separate, but as part of our shared world. Some of these incredible tales were explored in short videos on this channel, but together they form a larger narrative, a reminder of the deep connections that bind all living beings. If you enjoyed this journey, please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing stories. Don't forget to check out our other videos to dive deeper into the extraordinary world of wildlife and human connections.